Payday 2 Nuzlocke. A thing that's never been done before. A thing I have done in the past. Payday 2 is, well, it's a very complicated game. On the surface, it's relatively easy. Just play through the career mode, have fun, make builds. So what if we made the game slightly harder? By adding the Nuzlocke rules typically seen in things such as Pokemon, Minecraft, or any of these other games where you have one life. Now, I realise that is not a really good explanation. So this is what the general rules, banned weapons, and everything for the Nuzlocke is. Let's start off with the rules. Rule number 1, you have to play on Mayhem all the way up to Death Wish. As most of you Payday fans would know, you don't get Death Wish until you're level 80. Now, you could say, oh, why not start on Death Sentence and do it that way? I think that would be better for a more harder challenge run of this. Like, if you want to, if you think it's too easy, play on Death Sentence. It's completely up to you, but for most players, I recommend playing on Mayhem up until level 80, where then you start playing on Death Wish. Number 2, if a character goes into custody, you lose that character. So, for example, if I am playing Ethan, and I go down on, let's say, No Mercy, I then lose Ethan, and by extension, and for rule number 3, I lose his perk deck with Copycat. The reason why we're doing it is that it's very simple. For example, Dallas's main perk deck is Crew Chief, as everyone knows. So if I'm playing Dallas, I have to use Crew Chief with him. This way, it makes it so that the characters are much more important than just, oh, I like Dallas, I'm just going to play him. We have to really be smart about how we play them. That means also, if we want to use some of the more stronger decks, we'll have to switch characters to someone like Duke, Joy, or any of these other characters that have really good decks. And by extension, rule number 4, is that Scarface is banned. The reason I'm doing this is purely just because some players just do not have Scarface. This challenge would be way too easy if you had 24 heisters instead of the usual 23. And because of that, rule number 5 is Leech, Kingpin, and now Copycat are allowed on any character. But if you lose that character, not only do you lose the deck you were using, you lose their deck as well. So, for example, let's say I'm using John Wick, and because I don't like I don't like Hitman, I'm like, I'll use Copycat, I'll make a good build with that. If I die as John Wick, I lose Copycat and Hitman. This makes the challenge a lot easier for some heisters, because let's be honest, some of them have really terrible decks. And rule number 6 is you have to play for the career mode. This is just so you actually have something to do, and like, oh, just get a skull mask or something. I think these challenge rules are fairly simple. I was thinking in my last series, like, I may add more because it may be way too easy, but I think it's a good amount of rules for now for a solo Nuzlocke. Eventually, I may come up with a rule set for a duo lock or a one with trio or 4 people. Anyway, let's move on to the banned weapons of the series. No, Payday 3 has loads of really overpowered weapons. Most been in the meta for literal years now. Let's start off with the first weapon I'm gonna ban, which is the Lion's Roar. This thing is a monster for assault rifles. It can get perfect 100 stats. It's extremely strong, very concealable. It works well in basically most builds where crits are the main option. I think this just makes the game way too easy if we ran it, and I want to have a bit of a challenge, so we're not allowing it. Another weapon we're going to ban, for basically the exact same reason, is the AK-12. Originally I didn't ban this in my original Nuzlocke, but recently I've been using it a lot more on my main account, and this thing is really good with crits. And I think it would trivialize a lot of heists if I allowed it, so I will ban it as well. For assault rifles, thankfully most of them aren't that great, unless they have like DMR kit, but for DMR kit you need to do achievements, so I will allow most of them except for those two, because those two you don't really need achievements to make them that good. For shotguns, recently they have not been good. They have been falling out of the meta massively. The only one I am gonna even consider banning is the this one from the McShay weapon pack, but that's purely just because the VG12 is overpowered. Like, quite literally every shotgun, everything from the McShay weapon packs are overpowered, so Expect to see a lot of these on the banned list. For LMGs, the only one I'm going to ban is this one. I forgot the name. God damn it. Basically, I think everyone knows that this is just an extremely solid LMG. I'm also going to ban the Acron. I'm sorry, but I think if you guys watch my Road to Infamy 25, you know that this thing is a complete and utter crit machine, and it's just not fair to have something like this allowed. I would say it would ban the chainsaw, but quite frankly, it's basically just the exact same as this one, but with better stats, so I will ban this one as well. Why not? Snipers. Originally I said that these weren't overpowered, and Jesus Christ, recently I've learned that they are overpowered. So let's start with the bans. First off, the Lieben Saga. This thing just does not run out of ammo. It has extremely good accuracy, good concealment rate, never runs out of accuracy, and is overpowered with graze. Yeah, this thing I am adding to the ban list effective immediately, because this is just not fair. This is just not fair. Next one I am adding is the Contractor Sniper. This thing, I think everyone knows how good it is. It's the best out of the 160 damage sniper rifles. It is extremely powerful. It has good concealment, crits. Yeah, this thing is just not fair for a Nuzlocke like this, where I'm trying to have a bit of challenge. And the last one I am going to ban is actually one of these more powerful ones, which is this one. I forgot the name of it, but this one is one of the better 225 snipers recently, because you can actually get like really good concealment on it and crits, allowing this thing just to become an absolute monster with graze, which I don't want for this series. I want to have like some sort of challenge still. It came with pistols. Quite frankly, there's just nothing here worth banning. The only thing really worth banning is just strikes, but pistols are really falling out of the meta, so there's just no reason to ban most of these. Akimbo SMGs. I'm basically going to ban most of these. I think lately, everyone's learned how overpowered Akimbo SMGs can be. Now, granted, there are some that are not that great, like, for example, the MP5. I've not really seen much people use this, or the MP7. These two, I have not seen many people use Akimbo, because quite frankly, there's just no point. You run out of ammo very quickly with these, and they're just not that strong. So, but for the sake of the challenge, I'm just going to ban every Akimbo SMG, because there's just so many. It'll take like literal hours just to go over why I banned every single one of them. And Akimbo shotguns, I am banning the Akimbo VG12s and these two. The Goliaths and the Grims. Reason is simple. Akimbo VG12s are quite literally game-changing once acquired. These babies legit have really good ammo pickup and have insane ammo damage, insane damage per shot, and can use crits. Same with these two. So, quite frankly, none of these I think are fair. Akimbo Judges, I am honestly fine with. Akimbo Judges are expensive, they are good for stealth, and that's it. And for specials, quite frankly, there is nothing here worth banning. Nothing here I consider overpowered at all. Moving on to the secondaries. There is a lot less to work with. Pistols, they're all fine. They are all fine. SMGs, the only ones I'm going to even consider worth banning are the classic, the Krinkov. This thing, I think everyone knows as a dozer melter. On tank builds, this thing is insane. And on crit builds, this thing is again insane. Basically, if you want to kill dozers, just use this thing. Which is why I'm not going to use it, because I want to have a bit more variety. And the second thing I am banning is, where is it? Where is the boy? There it is. The CR8s. The CR8s. You get this thing at level 2, and it is one of the best crit SMGs in the game. It has really good, it doesn't have the best ammo pickup, but has really good damage, good concealment, good accuracy, good stability. Quite frankly, this thing is just not fair. Why they allow you to get this at level 2, I will never know. But hey, we have it, so yay, I guess. Special, again, there's just nothing worth banning here apart from the Commando. That's just because the Commando's overpowered. Seriously, look at that. 6,200 damage. Like, seriously, what is this? Shotguns, quite frankly, only thing really worth banning here is the Grims. And that's only just because, like, DB or Tombstone. And Akimbo Snipers, unlike the primary counterparts, none of these are good. Well, none of these are strong enough to warrant a ban. Alright, so that's the rules and the bad weapons challenge. Let's actually start it off.